Hi guys, guess what? It's your favorite Ghanaian American nursing YouTuber. I bring you nursing migration. I bring you young achievers in any part of the world that are doing well for themselves. People from Ghana have passed through this channel, people from UK, Caribbean, whatever. And I'm glad again to bring you somebody. First of all, you know that I have a consult, a team set aside to help with your US RN journey. The US registered nurse journey, the RN stands for registered nurse. And if you haven't reached out to me yet, the numbers are out there. WhatsApp me, call, email us, and would help guide you. Let me clarify this. We just coach you through the NCLEX process, the journey to you writing your NCLEX. We are not visa, immigration recruiters, or anything like that. We just help you to pass your NCLEX, then link you to recruiters in the US to find your job, move your family in the US, and work. I come from Ghana, School University of Ghana. I always say that, the premier university, whether you like it or not. I live in US, New York State. I practice as a registered nurse. I have Bachelor of Science in Nursing. I love what I do, and I'm glad that this channel is helping most of you. Share this video to the end. Today, I'm taking all the way to the Queensland. We're going to UK, and I have here Ambrose. So Ambrose, welcome to my channel and introduce yourself to my guest.
Thank you for having me, Priscilla. And thank you to your guests who are listening and watching us from all over the world, especially in Ghana. My name is Ambrose Kwekuansa, and people call me by the name Aberaba, meaning the son of the palm nut seller. I am currently a PhD student in Northumbria University, studying a PhD in communication design. I also run a consult in Ghana based in Kumasi, around Ahonjo roundabout, and it's called Considerate Study. Basically, what we do is we assist students who want to study in the UK. We take them through the counseling process of choosing a school. We take them through the processes of applying for a school. And after we've received admission, we make sure we take you through the visa process till you receive your visa. And we also do pre-departure counseling. And when you get to the UK, you have someone to contact to do post-departure counseling for you, and to be sure that you integrate yourself in the system and settle as much as you can and make your journey in the UK a worthwhile journey.
I like the Ashanti spirit. He went straight into marketing. I didn't even catch up with you, see how you're doing or anything. You just jump into marketing. I like that. Time is money, so we got to get it going. So, okay. So I've known you for years, at least 5 years, if I can remember. And you said you're a PhD student in the UK. What are you studying, and how has that journey been? And how long are you into the program? How many years so far?
Currently, I started my master's, my second master's. I had my second master's in the UK in the same university, Northumbria University, and I studied international development. And my focus actually is on rural enterprise development and participatory governance. And so I'm looking at how African governments can incorporate participation. And when I say participation, I don't only mean just a roundtable discussion we are used to, or just a roundtable discussion we have known over the years. When I talk about participation, I mean the real people for whom policies are developed for, being part of the policy development processes. And that is what I think is missing in our policy journey in Africa. And that has been my focus. And I also believe that Africa is the next big thing to happen to the world. However, it is not urban Africa that is going to be that impact that we are looking at. I'm looking at rural Africa. And it is also because Africa has a lot of arable land to feed its people and the rest of the world. Of course, give out surpluses to the rest of the world. And so that was for my master's. It was in international development. And for my PhD, I have advanced my study, and I'm looking at, okay, if I say rural enterprise development, what exactly about rural enterprises am I looking at? The world is now a global village, as we say. And so we should find a way of commissioning our rural businesses and business people into that fray, that digital fray. And so for my PhD, I'm working on women in digital transformation, and I'm looking at their impact on rural enterprises development. I'm going to look at platforms like, is it Farmerline? I'm going to look at Isoko, and I'm going to look at the use of mobile money as a platform for integrative financial systems development in Ghana.
Wow, that's a lot of book. Now I'm so lost, God. So congrats on your PhD journey, and I hope that you learn something substantial, you go back home and be a change maker. Do you have any political agenda, any role?
No. To be sincere, and you have known me, this is quite interesting. I belong to a political party. I won't be a liar. I belong to a political party, but I am not so much partisan now. My interest now is in contributing to alleviating poverty in rural Ghana, and that for me is my focus for now.
Okay. So do you intend going back home, or are you going to be working back and forth UK, Ghana after your studies?
So currently I am working, I'm shuttling between these two countries, and I'm looking at expanding the picture to other countries. But for now, it's between Ghana and UK.
Okay. So most people know my channel as Nurses Channel, and they keep asking me every day, what about we the non-nurses? What can we do? Can't you come study? How do you come to the US? And I made a video about the ways to travel abroad, and one of them is through studies. Either you come through your partner, or you come and study, or you come and visit and go back, or you win a DV lottery or something. So I know you run a scholarship firm. People come to study in the UK, and it's called Considerate Ghana. And you already gave us a brief intro about it. So really break it down to me. What is it about? How can we reach you? What do you intend to do? Just take it one at a time for me, please.
Okay, wonderful. So let me put things in perspective so we can all appreciate what we are discussing. So Considerate Study basically is a student agency that assists students who want to study in the UK. Now, being in the UK, one of the things I realized is that it is very easy getting into UK if you get the best of information, if you get the best of advice, and if you meet the right people to talk to. Now, considering other Western nations, I realized that UK is easier to enter. People will talk about the cost of fees and all those things. Yes, those are factors. But when you have all the primary requirements, trust me, your visa is definitely assured. And that is why I want advise people who have slim chances of traveling to the West to go and try nations like US and the rest. I would suggest that if you want to go to US, first come through UK because it is very easy. Now, what we do, when you come to our offices in Ahojo, we engage you to know what you have studied over the period. We counsel you to know what you have studied over the period, and we try to know your interest in terms of career advancement. Now, there are some programs, honestly, when people take in the UK, they don't become rewarding, right? And so when you come and you tell us, okay, this is the program you want to study, and we think that it will not be in your interest in the longer term, what we do is we advise you and we encourage you to take other programs, right? Now, because we have partnership with specific universities, we look at the programs available, and then we advise you on which particular one in which particular university you ought to study. Now, in our counseling session, apart from considering the cost of interest in your career prospects, we also look at your financial position. Oftentimes, people forget about this critical issue as to the importance of your finances in your journey to study in the UK. What we consider important, apart from your course of study, of course, is the financial. The reason is this. Now, some schools are high-end schools, and so they charge high-end fees. For instance, if you go to Newcastle University, if you go to Birmingham, if you go to Leeds, these are high-end schools, and so they charge 20,000 and above, right? Some of these universities, trust me, if you don't have the support, if you don't have the capacity, and you get admission there, and you decide to come, and it is the case that you are going to work in the system to pay your fees, you struggle. So we look at your finances. We may not get you that high-end school. We may get you a school that costs about £10,000 based on your finances, right? We may also get you a school that costs about £13,000 that will also give you scholarship of about £1,000, right? So you end up paying about £12,000. In all of these things, we do critical analysis of every person that visits us and ensures that your quest or your desire to study in the UK becomes a reality.
That's a lot of information. First of all, I forgot to mention, let me just send a shout out to some people. I'm spending a lot of time in UK, even though I'm living in US. I did videos with people in UK. So let me say thank you very much, Tasha Lord, for having me on your channel. Thank you very much, Becky Sechre, for having me on your channel. My friend in Germany, Esther Starry, these are fellow YouTubers. Midnight Through the Styles, thank you for coming on my channel. If you haven't checked any of them, their YouTube channel out, please do check their channels out. I'm going to leave the links to all their channels in my comment section. And Ambrose, Considerate Study, I'm going to leave the link so that you can contact them, their phone numbers, anyhow you're going to reach them, their social media handles or whatever. It's all going to be in the description box. So go into the description box, click on the topic, it opens up, click on show more, you see all the links to this information. My consult, USR in Pathway Consult, the link is there. We have a Telegram group. Kindly join all these groups for us. Okay, so back to you, Ambrose. So consider a study. All these amounts you are mentioning, £12,000, this is when you convert those into CD or African currencies, they are a lot. Even if it's still pounds, £12,000 in pounds, it's still a lot. How can somebody afford that? Do you have a discount? Do you have paying in installments? How can somebody pay these fees to get into any of these schools that you mentioned?
So this is where I talk about studying in UK, opportunities and realities. So no school would ask you to pay the full fees, right? And so if you don't have scholarship, or if you're not on a government scholarship, what they do is they require you to pay a deposit, and usually it is between £2,000 and £6,000. That is for the schools that I deal with. But let me be quick to add that when you have a school that requests you to pay £2,000, you shouldn't just celebrate it, because you see, there are schools that charge about £17,000, right? However, they require that you pay £2,000 as deposit. £2,000 is just about 20,000. So you think, oh, it is better. I can easily go to this school. But don't forget that when you pay the £2,000, the UKVI rule requires that the difference of your fees and 9,200 £9,200, which is supposed to be your maintenance fee, I mean your stipend for the year, should be in your account. So if you are paying £17,000 and you have paid 2,000, it means you would have a difference of £15,000 to pay. And then you add the 9,200, so that becomes about 24,000 and more pounds. And that money must be in your account for a minimum of 28 days before you apply for a visa. The question is, how many people can raise £24,000 in their account prior to visa application? And so I advise people that, okay, I can get you a school, for instance, that will charge £10,300 for the bulk of the fees, right? The whole year. That is for master's program I'm talking about. Now, the school also requires that before you get your confirmation of acceptance of schooling, that is the CAS, you should pay about £6,300. That looks quite high, because that's about 63,000, and it's not easy raising that money. But the reality is that once you raise that money and you pay, you'll be left with just about £4,000 as deficit for your fees. And when you add the 9,200, you have just about 13,200 to deposit in your account, and that is easy to raise for the 28-day period relative to your visa application. Right. Now, this school will require that once you are in UK, you can study and do other things for about 6 months before they ask you to pay for your 4,000, by which time you would have gotten a job, you would have settled, you would have raised some substantial money, and you wouldn't have to call home to ask for loan from somebody to pay the remainder of your fees. Right. Meanwhile, if you go for the one that requested for the 2,000 with a bulk fee of 17,500, you would struggle to make that 15,000 within a period of time that the school would give you to make payments. Truth be told, most of these schools would ask that once you enroll in the school and you enroll, you take your visa, you come into the UK, the 2 months they start making requests for payment of fees. And when you don't pay your fees, what they do is that they block your school account. And so you are unable to access anything on campus. Now, you would think that, okay, if I drop out of school, I will settle in the system. After all, I'm in the UK and I can work and all that. My brother, my sister, that won't be true. The truth is that the school will send a letter to the Home Office telling them that they have withdrawn their confirmation of acceptance of schooling. And it is because you are not schooling. So you get to be placed on the red list of the Home Office, and you by default become an illegal person in the UK. And you would have just 60 days to leave the UK, or you'll be deported when you are caught. And of course, once you don't have the requisite papers to be in the system, wherever you go looking for a job, you will struggle. And so I advise people that, yes, coming into UK is good. There are a lot of opportunities here. But the truth also is that it is not a bed of roses. Right. And so it is better you get the best of advice, you take the best of decisions before you come into UK. One good thing about UK is that once school admits you and then you get your visa, you are able to come with your spouse and you are able to come with your children who are below 18 years. And another beautiful part of this story is that you are even able to come with your domestic helper. So even though one person gains admission to a university and consequently receives his or her visa, you are able to come with more than 4 or 5 people depending on your situation. So for me, coming into UK is good. There are a lot of opportunities, but the most important thing is that you must get the best of advice prior to undertaking your study journey.
You've spoken extensively. I have a bunch of questions in my head right now, and I'm going to forget most of them. So I'm going to offload them onto you, and we'll pick them one by one. So the first one will be that what are the documents somebody needs? They finished the University of Ghana, or they finished Tech or UCC or Central Uni, and they want to come and do masters. What documents do they have to get? Number 2, what type of visa do they get? What's the visa called? And what's the duration of the visa? Number 3, after education, how many months or years do you have to stay in the UK before you go back to your home country? Let's take these 3, then I would see. And number 4, the amount, the maintenance fees, that is same as what they call block accounts. I'll try and remember some, but let's take the first one. What do you put together? Or you finished college, you want to go to do masters. What do you have to put together?
Thank you for your question, Priscilla. So if a person wants to study for his masters in the UK, if assuming the person had a full 4-year university degree, then the person would need his transcript, depending on the university. Okay, all university require transcripts. You will need your certificates. You will need a biodata page of your passport. You will need an English proficiency letter. You will need your WASI results. The WASI results, what we need is your English language results, which should be C6 or better, or in the case of SSC, it should be C or better. And then we would need your statement of purpose. Other universities call it personal statement. And then I think basically these are the documents we'll need prior to application.
The duration of the visa and how long you can stay after you're done.
Okay, so the duration of the visa is dependent on your course of study. So if the course of study is 12 months, then you are definitely okay. So if you happen to have applied in September, then you would have about 16 months visa. Right. Now, if you happen to have applied in January, then it is going to be 1 year and 10 months. because January, you see, January when you come, they vacate around, the school vacates around May, and then you would have that free period until September when the next academic year starts. And so those who come in January tend to have a lot more time than those who come in September. Now, when a person is through with his education, you have what we call the post-study permit, which is a 2-year permit. The visa we actually apply for as a student at the UKVI, at the UK Center, is called tier 4 general student visa. Yes. And your last question was on what?
And after the school, when are they're supposed to leave?
Yeah, after the school. Now, when the person is through with his education and the person is lucky enough to get a job, that of course, if the employer is a tier 2 sponsor, then you get to have what we call the certificate of sponsorship from your employer, and you're able to apply to the Home Office, and you migrate from the tier 4 visa to the tier 2 visa, and that is also dependent on the number of years your employer will give you. Some employers give 3 years, other employers give 5 years. If you have the 5 years, then it counts towards your indefinite leave to remain. So if, for instance, I am done with school, right, I get an opportunity to get an employer who is a tier 2 employer, and I get a certificate of sponsorship, and I get 5 years visa. After the 5th year, I can apply for permanent leave to remain, and I won't need anybody again. The other route is that if I come with my wife, right, and my wife comes into the system and gets a job as a carer, and she gets a certificate of sponsorship as a carer, then she can migrate from the dependent visa onto the tier 2 general workers visa, right? Then I can migrate as a student, as a dependent, and move onto my wife's visa as a dependent, tier 2 dependent, and that also counts towards my permanent leave to remain. But once you are done with school, people get worried most times, and they ask, what happens when I'm done with school? The truth is that when you are done with school, you will not be asked to leave. You have the 2 years working visa, right? And you apply for that one. And that one, once you are done with your master's, you are eligible to apply, and they won't deny you on any grounds. And once they give you that tier 2, that sponsors, no, not the sponsors visa, that the, how do you call it, the graduate route visa, if I'm to advise anybody, I would advise a person that if you study the program that is not giving you the kind of job that will make you have a tier 2 sponsor, you may want to take a careers course, right? The level 3 care course, and then you get to have, it's about 6 months, and you get to have the certificate. And once you have the certificate, you can easily apply for a job as a carer, and you can easily get 3 to 5 years tier 2 general visa. There is no need, once you are in the UK, going back home is quite slim, unless of course you are not ready to stay in the UK.
So a student, how many hours are they expected to work? Because in the US, someone on a student visa cannot work more than 20 hours a week.
Legally, you're not expected to work more than 20 hours too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we forget, I want you to leave where people can find you, your email or your social media account. Where can they find you before we forget?
Okay, so you can visit our website on www.consideratestudy.com. Our office is located in Kumasi, Ahojo Roundabout, Apino Plaza, just at the Snappy Aba Junction. Our office numbers are 03221-91800, and you can reach us on WhatsApp on +44 777 647 5603. That is my personal number, and it is because I normally make time to attend to students myself. Yes, but these are, if you go to Facebook, you will find us. Our Facebook is Considerate Study, and yeah, basically about it.
Okay. So if you just joined us and you're wondering what is going on, this is Ambrose, a friend of mine. We go way back. He's based in the UK. I live in the US. He's a PhD student in the UK, and he has a company called Considerate Study, and they help people come study. So my question, let's move on. What are when somebody wants to apply for school, what time should they apply? You said you have a January set and you have a September set. So by what time should the January person be done with all their paperwork in order to start school in January? And by what time should the September group be ready to start?
We normally advise that anytime you want to study, you prepare ahead of time. You give yourself about 6 months before you apply, because there are some requirements that you would have to take your time to generate them. For instance, the deposit that ought to be, you asked about a block account. UK, we don't have a block account. We are not like Germany. We don't have a block account. UK, the only requirement is that the difference of your fees and the maintenance fee, which is the £9,200, must be in an account for a minimum of 28 days prior to visa application. Right. Yes, so in UK, we don't have a block account. Now, when you want to apply in September, it is most times possible, important that you apply around April, May, so that you can prepare all the requisite documents prior to your admission and, of course, your visa application. And many times the problem has been the deposit of the money in the account. And that is why you would have to give yourself a lot of time to be able to prepare adequately before you apply. Now, if you want to come in January, it is important you start in September and be sure that by October you have secured admission, by November, December you have secured your visa, and by January you're on your way to the UK. Trust me, today, globally, one of the easiest visas to apply for is the UK visas. It is very easy. Once you get a primary requirement, they will grant you the visa.
Nice. So how would an individual find those scholarships that are out there, or that is your job to coach them to get a scholarship for them? And if somebody wants to pay cash, can they come to Considerate Study?
Okay, so let me be quick to say that we don't support students with scholarship, because you see, scholarships in UK, are quite a dicey issue, and you don't want to get into it. And so, because our reputation is of importance to us, we don't get involved in scholarships. We are not in any way involved in scholarships. The second thing is that in our office, we don't take any money from any student, because our services are free, and nobody is supposed to take any money for whatever reason. If anybody wants to give any money for whatever reason, the person must put me in the known before that money is, given to whoever is in the office. Now, what we advise mostly is that the money for your journey should always be in your account. And most times it's advisable that you have a visa card. And so when a student, for instance, secures admission in a particular school, we use your visa card to pay for the fees. And then we secure the cash after payment of fees. And every other payment that we need to do to the UK government and for your medicals, we use your visa card. We make sure as much as possible, every penny that is used for the purpose of your journey is coming from your account. And we don't advise that you give any money to anybody in the process.
Okay. I love what you're doing, but before I even forget, visa card, my fellow nurses, they want to travel, but they don't have a visa card. But most of the applications, you have to be paying using your visa card. So everybody get your visa card. Somebody today doesn't have a passport, and her husband got a visa, and they're supposed to process everything together, and her passport is not ready, and Ghana is having issues with passport page shortage or whatever. So passport should be like a national identification card for everybody. You need a passport before you think of traveling abroad. So passport and visa card is a no-brainer. Please, my people, get this, because if you're on a US RM pathway journey, we need you to have a visa card to pay for all these things. The money is not coming, so you're paying the money to the service providers. I was going to say something very important, but I think I lost track. So the person pays this, so you are like a guidance place, a coaching, just like what we do at our consult. Then you help people in navigating where to schools to apply for. Is that what basically you do? And do you also—
And basically, that's what we do. And we don't take any money from any student. We don't charge for our services.
Yes.
And there are two things involved. One is that I represent some of the schools that I work with. And so I have my means of getting paid. And that has been one major question people have been asking me. So how do you get paid? Are there no hidden charges? Why don't you take any money? When we go to this place, they take money and all that. The truth is that working for those schools, I get paid by the schools. Right. And so I don't want the situation where I make double profit, take from the school and take from the student. I don't want that situation. Right. And that is why our services are actually free. Now, to the issue of paying somebody to do all this for you, the truth is that, and I have advised quite a number of people, when you are paying somebody to do something for you, you should be sure of the service the person is giving you. Right. People have applied for schools for people, for students who want to come to the UK. And what happened was that most of them didn't even get the program they were expecting to study. And so at some point, some of them come to the UK and get frustrated and somehow, somewhat want to drop out of the program. But for the purposes that they will lose their immigration status, they strive to go through the program. And some of them don't perform well. Meanwhile, if they had spoken to the right people, they probably would have gotten the best advice. They would have gotten the best counseling on visa. They would have been part of the processes of their admission into those schools, and they would have been part of all the decisions relative to their journey. And so their journey would become very sweet. I advise, and I will re-echo this advice, that don't pay anybody to gain admission into a UK school. If you want a free service, if you want a service that will bring you to the UK, if you want a very genuine service, just get in touch with Considerate Study, and we are here to help.
So just a quick one. Mention the schools that you have links with, like the schools that you work for that people can get admission into, and the parts of UK they are located.
There are a lot of schools. I have Heriot Ward, I have BPP, I have Sunderland, I have Birmingham, we deal with Leeds. There are a lot of schools, and I am on a particular board called Apply Board. And so I have almost all the schools in the UK, and I have almost all the schools and all the programs you want to study in the UK. And so we are not limited by school. Neither are we limited by program. We can perform everywhere once it is your choice and desire.
I'm a nurse and I'm an advocate for my fellow colleague nurses. Do you have anything, any opportunity for nurses who want to come to the UK, either to work or to study, scholarship or anything?
Okay, for scholarships, no, but I keep telling nurses that they have the best of opportunities in the UK. So for instance, there's a particular university, and I won't put their name out. There's a particular university when you're a nurse and you have a 3-year diploma. When you come to us, we apply to them, you do a 1-year top-up. Right. While in school, there's a particular program in a particular university where you do just 1-year top-up to have your degree. Now, when you apply to that university, you don't need IELTS. All we need is your C6 in WASI or C in SSC, and we'll get you an admission. Now, it's a 1-year program, and so you are prepared to write your CBT exams and other exams relative to practicing as a nurse in the UK. Now, while in school, you also have an opportunity to work with care homes as a senior carer, right? As a senior carer. So you don't even come as a normal carer, and that is an opportunity for you. And once the care homes know that you are a senior carer, what they do is that once you are done with your necessary examinations and licensure, you get an opportunity to work with these care homes as a nurse. And working in the UK as a nurse is not bad at all. I mean, I have some nurses here that are around and they are really enjoying.
So guys, there you have it. Thanks very much, Ambrose, for coming to us all the way from the UK. My name is Mr. Kuma, registered nurse. I share nursing, migration journey, and any other fun stuff. And if you want to study in the UK, Considerate Study is the best you have to contact. Ambrose has left all his details there, Facebook, phone numbers. Reach out to me. Reach out to him. I am just a medium carrying all the good news for you. So just go find them and ask all the questions that you have. Nurse, if you want to study in the UK, you have an opportunity to study and work as a senior carer. That is a big, good deal. And you can work on getting your licensure done and become an RN in UK. So thank you very much.
Let me quickly add, Priscilla. Yes. Let me add that if you're a nurse in Ghana and you want to migrate to work in the UK and you're not getting a certificate of sponsorship, try the school. It is easier.
Okay.
Because while schooling, you can, of course, I'm aware, I mean, it is not free. You get my point, to get a certificate of sponsorship. And so whatever money you spend on getting a certificate of sponsorship, I would encourage you to use the same money to gain admission into a university and consequently come to the UK to study. You get the same opportunity. You get to work while schooling. You get to write your exam to practice as a nurse in the UK. And when you are done with school, you also get to practice as a licensed nurse in the UK. And that is even better because you get to know all that you need to know prior to your practice as a nurse in the UK. And you see, another thing is that those nurses that are coming in as carers, I'm not really for it. I'm not really for it because you're a nurse and you are coming to practice as a carer. You are just like any other person who is not a health worker who has taken a 6-month program and has become a carer. You get my point. And interestingly enough, you are paid the same salaries, the same wage. So I would advise that if you are just getting a certificate of sponsorship to be a carer, consider the education route. Come to school, just top up 1 year. If you have a degree, top up, get a master's, and then you can find yourself in the UK. And one of the reasons why they require the IELTS is because they want to be sure that you are fluent in the English language and you are able to communicate. When you come to study, you won't be required to write that IELTS for the licensure in the UK. So just consider it and get in touch with us. We'll help you come through school. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming onto the hospital. Thank you very much for dropping all these tips and gems. And I know you are going to come back because you have a lot. This is a very short section. So thanks everyone for watching this video. Share this video with other people as well. And we'll definitely have you back. So, and also I would like to get in touch with one of your successful students that you brought over with time so that they'll come and share their experience working with Considerate Study. Yes. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.